Man, that one, tough to jump with all that salad. I guess this is kind of what you're looking for.
Weedline bass fishing is no different than any other fishing. Good spots are good spots year after year after year. And once you learn them, they don't ever go away.
A nice bass to start the day off.
Troy, it's coming up, coming up.
This is the second time this season that I got to fish with my dad. We fish on Minnesota opener weekend. We both had some very busy summers. I've been filming up in Canada, and he's been out filming, and a lot of other activities going on between us, so it's nice to have a beautiful summer day here. It's mid-July. The bass are up in the weeds, and this is actually one of the few days that I've been largemouth bass fishing, so it's kind of a special day out here, fishing with Dad out here, going for some big largemouth bass.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
You know, Troy was saying that summertime, it's actually the middle of July. And these fish, all the fish, walleyes, bass like we're fishing now, everything, they're all set up in their summer mode, and they're gonna be in their summer mode for the next, probably 3 months. You know, and on this lake, on a largemouth bass lake like we're on, and I know this lake well, we fished it a lot over the years. It's an ideal bass lake, if I can describe it to you. It's got a lot of great docks on it, a good shallow water dock bite, lots of deep water bulrushes on it, shallow water, junk water that you could frog through. Deep flats, about 8-foot deep flats with weeds all over them, big flats. You know, and it's got a weed line at about 13 feet. And these kind of lakes, and it's got good water color to it. The living space, when you look at a lake, and 50% of it is shallow from the first drop off and shallower. Massive food shelves like that, massive. And one of the patterns, you can catch fish doing everything. You can go to the docks, you can go to bulrushes, you can go frog fishing like later in the day. And then you got the pivot point, which is the weed line. And the weed line in these lakes, these natural lakes that we fish, is key all season long. They're either, if you imagine the weeds coming out like this, and then all of a sudden rolling like this, and going to 15 feet, 14 feet here on that roll. They're either up on top of the roll, slightly down, out on that other edge, or slightly out of it. That's their zone when they come off of those flats. And a lot of what they do and the mood of the fish is pretty much determined by what the bluegills are doing. That's right, the bluegills have a lot to do with the mood of the fish. Oh yeah, oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, Troy, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited. I got to think we have the makings of a good day. Look at that. They gobbled that thing down. Look at that. The darn nice one. I expect to catch quite a few of these before this day is over. Ah! I love it. I'll take a bath like that every day. You know, right now we're mixing our baits up. I mentioned earlier the mood of the fish is based on what the bluegills do. Generally on warm, sunny, somewhat calm days like this, a little bit of humidity in the air, yeah, you know, the bluegills will come up out of the weeds, stay up above the weeds, you know, they'll come out to the edge and suspend out, yeah, you know, and that'll draw the bass up out of the cover. You get big windy cold front days, and these bad bass, the bluegills don't like wind. You know, they're not too crazy about the wind. So these kind of days are excellent. The fish get up, they're a little more active, they're higher in the water column, swimming. Sometimes it's swimming a jig, sometimes you can have a top water bite, you can have a drop shot, a jig, a Neko Rig, a Texas rig critter bait. We got all our rods rigged, jig worms, you know, to feel that bite out. So far, we haven't been out here that long. You know, it seems like the fish, the way they're biting the bait, they're pretty active. Yeah, you know, you're not getting a lot of light bites. That's a good indication. And I'm not seeing a lot of bluegills high out here. So the bites that we had been so far been on bottom baits. Got him.
Yeah.
Got him. Oh, Troy, good one. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I love it. I love it, Troy. Oh, come here, come here, come here, come here. These are the kind of days that we like to fish together. Normally, Troy and I do a lot of smallmouth fishing.
Got one?
He's got one too. Let's see whose is the biggest.
I threw right where you cast, and that's...
I'll hang on while we get his in.
Oh, it came off.
Ah, well then mine's the biggest.
This segment is brought to you by Sunset Country, Ontario, Canada. You gotta come visit.
We're on a pretty well-known lake. You know, a lot of people live on a lake. You know, it's a good walleye, crappie, bass lake. And we only seen a couple more boats fishing today. It's the middle of the week, and yeah, you know, we try to get to these play lakes, and that's what I'll call this one. Yeah, you know, but lakes like this with good watercolor, not clear or anything, not a lot of boat traffic. Yeah, you know, you can get bit all day long, right in the middle of the day. The fish don't shut off. Some of these other lakes that heavy boat traffic, in summer like this, that weedline bite, you got it in the morning for about 3 hours. That morning bite is critical on lakes like that. And then you get a little window in the evening for about an hour and a half, and the daytime fishing can be really, really tough. So, you know, depending on the lake you're fishing, how much traffic is on there, you know, determines if it's a good bite all day long, like we got today, or short-lived morning bites and evening bites.
We did a pass on this spot about 12 feet and then came out a little bit deeper. I'm holding in like 16 right now. And that's where, you know, we're getting some of the, I guess some of these other bites a little bit deeper, but kind of taking these little zones where you're kind of slicing the weed line. It's a pretty sharp, you know, it's a pretty sharp drop. So just like 2 slices on this, and you can kind of figure out what kind of depth that they're holding at. And that, see, that was just underneath the boat right there, or just to the side of the boat, a little bit deeper than the first pass that we took. And let's see the size on this one. Feels pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. Not bad at all. So when you get bit, especially, these fish can be schooled up so good. There, there you go. Pop that out. Oh, that hook's so good in there. Good, I got my worm back and everything. Nice little chunker. You get a bigger one. Yeah, these fish can be schooled up so well. Just hit spot lock, you can just kind of fan cast a little bit and then move out a little bit, fan cast, and then move up maybe a little bit shallower, kind of fan cast. And when you get in a school like that, you don't have to move far. You can kind of sit in one spot and catch a lot. We kind of came up spot locked right there and caught some fish, and then what I did is I kind of drifted back a little bit deeper, so we came in like that, spot locked up there, caught some fish up there, and then I kind of came out a little bit deeper and spot locked in this spot. And we're finding some fish out a little bit deeper. There's some fish inside here and at the next depth out, so it'd be something to try. I'm gonna drift back a little bit and fish a little bit deeper back here.
Oh, got him, Troy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, he's been here in the weeds. He's coming out, coming out, coming out. Nice. Nice. We tore his home up a little bit. I tore his home up a lot. He's in here. He's in this stuff. Yeah. Another one of them chunkers, man. Look at a belly. I mean, they're setting up. You know these weedline fish. Every year, it seems like the weedline changes a little bit. So you got to get out and you got to feel the different weed growth, different areas. Some comes, some goes. It's just ironic, but it happens. And once you find, for the year, you start catching fish in somebody's spots that were in here, even if I know them, they shifted a little bit, the weeds shifted a little bit, it takes a little adjusting, then they're there for the whole summer. I mean, once they're settled there and they're out on these edges, those spots and those weeds, those are the spot on the spot. Once you learn them, you punch them in, put them in your hummingbird, lock them down. Oh, Troy's got a fish.
Yeah.
We are loaded for bear. We got
You know,
pikes.
there's so many different ways to fish for walleye. Dependability and efficiency.
Simple, fast, and easy.
The best rods on the planet. They like to eat when you're throwing the right thing.
You don't have all bluebird flat calm days.
Just a perfect eating size fish.
See, that's what I'm talking about, these Daiwa drags.
We got walleye stuff, we got crappie stuff, we got pike stuff.
Little one. Relatively little. Or smaller, I shouldn't say little. Actually, not that bad. I'm getting spoiled out here. Sometimes when you get on these lakes that have some really big largemouth, you get spoiled. This is actually not too bad. We just pulled up to a new spot. Neko rigging.
I got him. And it feels like a
Hook is-
pretty decent one.
I gotta
Oh, no.
pliers
Nope,
to
he
get
was
that thing out.
buried down. He's buried down into the weeds that we're fishing.
I got that out. That hook was pinned. Let me get him back. Sorry about that, buddy. But thank you. Boy, these hooks are, these new RedLine hooks are quite amazing. That fish, that hook was like cemented in there. This is the new RedLine series from VMC. These are premium hooks. This is actually the Finesse Neko hook that I'm using here. I really like this. These are made of vanadium steel. That's a very high grade of steel. These are very high quality hooks, and they also have a slick coating on there which allows the hook to penetrate easier with less force. That means more fish staying hooked at the end of your line. And I happened to tour the VMC factory back in France a few years ago and firsthand saw the care and quality control that they put into every single hook. And it is truly amazing. And this is just one of the offerings in the new RedLine series for VMC, and there's actually a number of different hooks that they offer. Fish can get, still got a little bit of life left in this worm. This is good. This is the one I've been using, this little peanut butter and jelly big bite. And I got the weight inside. There's a weight inside there.
The first time in about an hour, first cast I made with a craw tube. Yeah, you know, I had the craw tube, and again, you know, we were talking a little bit about RedLine. The new hooks, that's a RedLine hook on here too. Like Troy said, you got a lot of different design delivery systems for this hook. Yeah, you know, so these companies like VMC that we work with, you know, they don't go to sleep at the wheel. They're always coming up with something new to help us find and catch a few more fish. And that's the reason we go fishing, to catch a few more fish. If a bite in a day, I catch 2 more fish because of better quality hook, and I'm happy. It's worth it for me. It's worth it.
Always spot lock whenever you get a bite. Spot lock, because they are schooled up, and then it's when you're out. Yeah, got one more. All right, one more little jump in you. Kind of a half jump. Yeah, it's a nice. Come here, you little chunker. There we go. All right, nice one. Yeah, that is the, hopefully I can, all right, good, the hook came out easy. And the importance of spot locking, especially when you get in lakes like this where there's no, you know, there's no buoys out here because there's no high spots, and kind of everything you look around, everything kind of looks the same. And these fish can get so schooled up. Like when you look out here, it's kind of looks all the same, so it's really easy to kind of drift off your spot very quickly. And these fish can be in a school, like kind of, would you say like the size of the boat, like something like that, where they're schooled up tight. And that's one of the things that spot lock, you anchor down with the Minn Kota and hummingbird on these spots. Boy, it is just a game changer. setup that I have going on here. This is the new redesigned St. Croix Legend Tournament Bass Series. The specific one is a 7-foot and 1-inch medium power fast action, which is an all-around versatile rod, hence the name here. You can see, versatile. And just for a lot of bass applications, this thing is perfect. You can see it has a split cork handle, high-end components top to bottom on here. And the blue is synonymous with bass anglers. When you see this, you know it's a Legend Tournament bass from St. Croix. And I'm pairing that with a Kage from Daiwa. This is a LT 2500 CXH and a size 2500 reel with a 7-foot 1-inch medium power fast action rod. This is a bass fishing combo for so many different types of fishing: Neko rigging, drop shot, swim baits, jig worming, Ned rigging, just about everything. I fish a lot of braid with fluorocarbon leaders, and when I'm fishing in, you know, some of this cover here, the bass here, you know, they're not going to get, you know, maybe 5 pounds at the biggest. So for a leader, 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon leader, and this is 832 Suffix braid, and I do like the higher vis line, like they have this kind of neon green. They have a high vis yellow that's really easy to see. It contrasts well against the water, so you can see when those subtle little bites, those fish just kind of move on the bait a little bit. You see your line jump, and then the fluorocarbon obviously has a refractive index very close to the density of water, so the light passes through it really, really well, and it kind of, you know, blends so well so fish don't see fluorocarbon. And Dad's got another fish on, but this is really great braid like this, like 10 to 15 pound braid with an 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon leader is definitely a go-to for me.
This boat is rigged up about as nice.
Easy to use, and it flat out works.
It's a must-have when you're talking about big waves. Well, these trout are so darn tough.
Incredible 11-year warranty.
So that was on a number 8 Shad Rap.
Your style of boat control is really key.
One that was there from the very beginning.
You want to be able to see in the water. The adventure begins.
All right, come here, come here, come here. I think I should have been maybe throwing that craw tube a little bit earlier. Yeah. We're just getting ready to talk about going to another spot and thinking about, well, look at how chunky that baby is. Look at that. Huh? Nice fish, really nice fish. Look at the belly on this one, Troy.
Oh yeah, that's
feels
eating
like,
right.
Feels like bluegills.
Yeah.
Probably eating bluegills. Really nice chunky fish. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, boy, he's taking some line out. I don't think, actually, let me just tighten up that drag. Just a little bit more. I might have had it set when I had a northern pike on there. Yeah, let me tighten, I can tighten that drag on there. Come here, buddy.
I got him that time.
Ow.
Got him that time.
That's, oh. All right. I think that's a good one to end. Oh boy, these RedLine hooks. I gotta do the pliers on this one again. It's just been a really fun day. I said, Dad and I don't get to fish together much, and anytime we can get out for some largemouth bass, you know, this size and up, it's just a lot of fun, especially fishing them in heavy cover like this in the middle of the week with relatively low boat traffic, just an enjoyable summer day.
You know, in the 40-something years that I've been actively seeking the Lord, studying His Word, and having a better understanding of what life is all about, one of my favorite TV evangelists in that period of time was a man named Charles Stanley. He went home to be with the Lord just a short time ago. I think he was in his low 90s. His stuff really ministered to my heart. I had a whole bunch of his monthly newsletters and messages here that I was going to share with you. And I do this for about a year in advance. I thought, well, this one would be a good one. This one would be a good one. Well, I picked up the best one this morning before I'm doing this closing. Talk about perfect timing. The title is Two Types of Listeners. It's possible to listen to every word of a sermon while actually not hearing a word of it. Sadly, this happens in churches every week. Bodies may be in the pew, but minds are somewhere else. In fact, practically every church around the world has two types of listeners, passive and active. Passive listeners are those who attend church, maybe even every week, but just sit in the pew and let their minds wander. They watch people, notice how others dress and act, socialize with friends, and make lunch plans. They don't go to church to hear from the Lord, but show up out of habit, or because the simple act of going makes them feel better about themselves. Active listeners, on the other hand, walk into the sanctuary excited about what the Lord is going to say. They have a Bible, a notebook, a pen in hand, ready to capture the meat of the message. They jot down as much as possible, trying not to miss a single point of the sermon. And they listen. They ask themselves, how does this apply to my life? God communicates in many different ways, and when He speaks, we should do our best to listen actively. Of course, we all have days when we're less focused. So if your mind is wandering during worship, ask the Lord to refocus your thoughts and help you tune in to what He was saying. By the way, this was a perfect word for me this morning. I was going to use all of these, but this one, that was God's timing. See you on the water.